Christmas is just around the corner, and that means we have been hard at work on our 2024 Christmas message series. A part of the message series every year is our Christmas decor setup, which kind of spills out into all the nooks and crannies of the church. So I want to take a moment today and walk you through what we have planned for this year's message series and talk about the design that's going to go along with the series. So let's go over to SketchUp and take a look at what we have planned. Starting off, what we have here is one of our later drafts of the graphic. And we're not quite done yet, but this is pretty close to what the graphic is going to look like. Our Christmas series this year is called The Advent. And we're going to be following actually the four themes of Advent throughout the 4 Sundays in December. What we're capturing here in the graphic are some of the elements that we're going to be using in the design in just a moment. And you're going to notice that we're using quite a few wreaths and candles in this year's design. We opted to just use the final candle, which is the Christmas Eve candle, the Christ candle of Advent, which is a white candle, because all of the other themes point to Christ. And so to keep the design simple and quasi-minimalistic, we opted just to use the one candle here in the design. I think you're going to see some of that as we go over to the other design, even though we're including all of the candles in some of our setups here. But what I wanted to highlight here is the element of the wreath, the element of the candle, and then the colors that we're going to use. Primary through all of this year's design is going to be this deep, rich, kind of ruby red color. We're also going to sprinkle in some of the gold here and there, but red, white, and then some blacks along the way. So we'll go here to the main entrance, and this year's theme will include a few new elements that we've not done before. First of all, you'll notice the windows here over the main entrance. These are the windows over the landing. All of them include a stick-on cellophane red sheet that will kind of mimic like a pane of stained glass. We went really simple, and we are kind of up in the air as far as what we end up doing with this final design. We may end up going through and some of the panes, picking them out and putting double layers of red over it, so you get just a darker red, and it might highlight maybe the arch here or maybe the center section. We're not quite sure, and I think we're going to leave it up to just making those decisions as we install it. But nevertheless, including the cellophane on the windows is kind of a design choice that we've decided to do for this year. Next, we have the 5 Advent candles. Now, those of you who grew up in a tradition that celebrated Advent, you'll know that these are not the colors of the candles. Typically, you have the purples and pink. But what we've decided to do is to go a little more minimalistic. We'll keep the final candle here representing Christ. We'll keep it white. And then we decided to do just various shades of gray, getting darker as you get to the outside. Here in the middle, these are 3-foot diameter tubes. The center one is 8 feet tall. I believe it goes 8 feet, 7 feet, 6 feet to the outside. What we want to do is, for the flame, put some type of like orange and red streamers or fabric or something that would blow in the wind, and we want to put fans in the bottom of the candles and lights to shoot up through them, and so that when the fans shoot up, the flame, whatever the fabric or the streamers that were representing the flame, will stand up, and then the light will shoot up through it up to the ceiling. And the concept would be that we will light these as we go through the month of December. That's the concept now. We may change our mind and just light all of them, because I think they're going to look cool together, and I kind of want to have all of it lit for the whole month. But we'll see how we do it. We've got another place where we're doing some candles, so maybe we'll light that one at a time as we go. Then down here in front, we're looking at including the word Advent and maybe MDF. And what we're thinking that we would do here with the word Advent is to do 2 layers of it so that we get this drop shadow effect off to the side. And then we're talking about putting it up on a bit of a ledge so that you can set some uplights down below it and shoot light up onto the words and still see the words. That's not represented here in this model, but that's kind of what we're aiming for as far as the setup of the actual Advent letters. If you have more questions about how we are thinking about doing that, because I know some people might be interested in that, but I know that's not going to be of broad appeal, so I'll skip that now. But if you have thoughts or questions on how we're going to do that, feel free to reach out and I'll tell you more. This is the star tree that we set up every year. This will be one of our 12-foot trees, and actually this is going to go up the weekend before we do the full Christmas decor setup. That's pretty typical because with that ministry, they have to have stars distributed and then recollected in enough time so that families can receive assistance before Christmas. So anyway, that tree goes up a little bit earlier. This will go up on Sunday, November 17th. And we'll have the 12-foot tree. I'm going to show you a little more about how that's going to be designed, and then we'll have packages underneath the tree as well. We've been collecting boxes now actually for a couple of months just in anticipation of that. So I'm excited for the way that that's going to look. Now, you've seen the candles. Let's talk about the wreath themes and what those are going to look like. As we spin around and go here out into the lobby, the plan this year is to include kind of a large display of wreaths in the center with red fabric draped through. You're going to see the red fabric show up more whenever we get into the sanctuary. This is kind of an inspiration photo for that. We'll just have the fabric kind of drape through the wreaths and then hang down there into the center of the lobby. Up above it, we'll have trees. We're still kind of deciding exactly how those are going to be decorated. It might just be white lights on the trees and then filling in with presents underneath. We're still kind of making some decisions there. And then down here on the floor, we're planning to do a large 6-foot tall wreath that would sit on the floor with black trees around the wreath. Here's a photo that kind of is inspiration for that. So as you can see, pretty good size photo. It would be, a good photo op as well for families, but then that wreath would be decorated more within our theme there. Okay, so 2 6-foot wreaths on the floor, some black trees, and that'll kind of fill it out. As we go over here to guest reception, this will start to look like this guest reception tree and this star tree are going to look pretty similar, and I'll show you what those designs are going to look like. If you remember the photo backdrop for Father's Day, we spun it 90 degrees in guest reception, had it come out perpendicular to where it was before. So we're aiming to do maybe just a single red background here. We haven't 100% decided if we're going to make, we might end up doing like the wreath here and the candle, and we might end up putting that design there, but we haven't 100% decided yet. For right now, we're kind of just aiming for a piece of red fabric, and then we would hang smaller wreaths down from the top of the pole. It would look something kind of like this. Here's an inspiration photo for that. So, kind of a good like mix of modern with the more traditional look of the wreaths. And then these smaller trees, they would just be the trees with the white lights to just kind of fill in some negative space over here. But what the Christmas tree design would look like, here's a good look at this. We are wanting to incorporate both on this tree and on the star tree this large waterfall ornament effect. So having the tree really full with big bulbous ornaments. That's kind of the theme that we're going for, and we're using this photo here as a good source of inspiration for that. And then the presents that go underneath, we're looking at doing red wrapping paper with red bows on the presents. Just really going all in on the red theme this year. But you can see that's what we would put under all of those trees. That's also, if we have additional boxes left over, we're also going to fill under here with the same type of presents. Okay, and final spot, I want to spin around here and go to the sanctuary. Now, the sanctuary, we will always go a little lighter on the stage itself. We have a ton of stage movement during the month of December with a number of different programs that we do and baptisms and all of that. So we try to keep the stage as sparsely decorated as possible. But around the stage area, we are planning to do a couple of just big swaths of red fabric. You'll remember the white fabric that we had at Christmas last year, and it actually endured for quite a while in the year. Well, we're going to do something similar, but this year we're going to take it up and around the screens and have it kind of just drape around the screen like that. And then we'll take this side all the way down to the floor over here. And then we're also looking at draping it around the front of the stage. So that'll be a nice red fabric, like that ruby red, rich kind of ruby red fabric on a black background. I think it'll look really nice and pop really well there. And then over here on this side of the stage, we're going to do a smaller version of the candles that we have at the main entrance. And these are the candles that I think we might light one at a time throughout the month of December. And then behind it, the same wreath that we had before out in the lobby, the 6-foot tall wreaths, lit and probably decorated to some extent back behind the candles. Well, that's a broad overview of everything we have planned this year. This year's setup evening is going to be Friday, November 22nd. It'll be 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m., kind of in that time frame. If you're interested in helping out, feel free to reach out to me. Let me know, and I'll get your name on the list.